initially recently said, look, I'm trying to enforce the laws with ICE agents, with federal law enforcement, and I can't do it, so I need to call the National Guard. But the statute says the president has to be unable to enforce the law with regular forces. What does regular forces mean? We don't know. The Supreme Court has never decided that question before yesterday. The Supreme Court now says regular forces means you have to try with the regular armed forces first before you can bring out the National Guard.
They thought they were being clever, a little legal sleight of hand to tie the feds' hands and keep them out of Chicago. But guess what? That victory just blew up in their faces. It's the ultimate backfire, and the fallout for the Windy City is going to be a hell of a lot more intense than anyone in City Hall saw coming. They tried to build a wall of red tape, but they accidentally built a runway for something much more serious. The High Court just dropped a hammer that's sending everyone in Illinois scrambling. Chief Justice Roberts and the majority just pulled the plug on the administration's plan to use the National Guard for immigration duty. Pritzker and his team are probably high-fiving in the halls of power right now, thinking they protected their sovereign authority. They think they won. They think they stopped authoritarianism in its tracks. But they should have read the fine print. The court didn't say no to federal intervention. They just said the Guard isn't the first move. They basically told the administration that if they want to get serious, they have to go straight to the elite stuff. This isn't a shield for a sanctuary city. It's a green light for something much bigger. The legal reality is setting in. The path to order now leads straight through the most elite branches of the United States military. Legal heavyweight John Yoo isn't sugarcoating it. He's pointing out the absolute irony here. The Democrats just paved the way for the very thing they're terrified of. By blocking the part-time citizen soldiers of the National Guard, they've legally cleared the runway for the Marines or the 82nd Airborne to land. Think about that. If the president has to use regular forces first, Chicago is about to trade the Guard for the most lethal, professionalized combat units on the planet. We're talking about elite troops tasked with making sure federal law actually means something. This isn't about local cops or part-timers anymore. The city is playing checkers while the feds just moved to the endgame. The attempt to shut down the administration's plan has backfired so hard, it's forced a shift to a much more potent form of federal action, one that the city is nowhere near ready to handle. History doesn't just repeat, it rhymes, and usually at the worst possible time. Remember 1957? Eisenhower didn't play games when Little Rock tried to ignore federal mandates. He didn't send a sternly worded letter. He sent in the 101st Airborne to remind everyone who actually runs the country. Fast forward to today, and we're staring down the same barrel. The administration is dead set on mass removals to fix the border and keep American communities safe. And Chicago has volunteered to be the front line of this constitutional fight. Pritzker thinks he's obstructing the mission, but all he's doing is changing the uniforms of the people carrying it out. If local leaders won't do their jobs and cooperate, they create a vacuum. And in this country, when there's a vacuum of law, the feds don't just sit there, they move in. The precedent is there, and it's a massive tool for the executive branch to use. Walk the streets of Chicago and you'll see the mess years of look the other way enforcement has caused. People are fed up. They're tired of being pawns in a political game that makes them less safe. Now, the prospect of Marines patrolling federal sectors, that's heavy. It's a wake-up call. But for a lot of people living in the chaos, it's the only hope left for a return to actual stability. Pritzker's out there framing this as a fight for democracy, but he just sharpened both sides of that sword. By demanding the administration follow the strict letter of the law, he killed the soft option. There's no middle ground left. The choice is now simple: total local failure or the full unchecked weight of the United States military. As the administration prepares its next move, the city is holding its breath. The goal is simple: restore order and finish the job promised to the American people. The era of sanctuary cities ignoring the law is about to hit a permanent dead end.